If you're a product manager and you've been working for some time, you need to understand what the product career progression actually looks like. If you don't understand how it works, you are definitely going to get stuck, burnt out, or both. First of all, most PMs are stuck in autopilot. This is not just product managers. This is pretty much everybody that is working. Product managers specifically have an easier time kind of switching to autopilot than others for two reasons. Number one, you're either impact focused, you're focused on results, and you're not really thinking about your career. Or option two, you're mission focused. You've got an idea. You want to work for some specific mission, working on something you're excited about. Those two reasons are usually why product managers are prone to kind of switching into autopilot mode for their career and not really progressing. So let's think, what are you actually optimizing for, or what have you been optimizing for, or most importantly, what are you planning to optimize for? Could be compensation, so money, sort of an easy one to think about. It could be you're optimizing to solve meaningful problems, help the world. It could be growth, meaning progression itself. The last bucket is you're looking for work-life balance, which means you've got other things going on in your world, in your life, and you want to optimize for those. It's also known as rest and vest in big tech, where you've got a nice cushy job, you're getting a big compensation, but you don't have to work the 40, 50, 60, 70-hour weeks. And it's very important to actually have this conversation with yourself, what you're actually optimizing for. If you don't know what you're gunning for, you can't really expect to get there. For simplicity's sake, let's assume that you can top out as a $1 million PM in San Francisco, or a $400,000 PM outside of the big tech hubs, and that's your compensation. If you're going for compensation, that's a pretty clear path to go for. And if you're optimizing for the financial part, then you may as well get to San Francisco as soon as possible, because that's going to increase the potential for compensation that you can get. If you're optimizing for solving meaningful problems, now you can actually look way beyond top 10. You should really be looking at a lot of early stage startups. You should be looking broadly. The third path is growth. If you're going for growth, that means you should optimize for marketability. That means you've got to have recognizable names on your resume. You've got to have meaningful impact on your resume. You have to be able to solve a lot of perceived problems when people look at your profile, because you're optimizing for future growth. And the best path for that is, of course, top tech companies, which are more mature, large revenue base, slow but predictable revenue growth, not a lot of threats to their fundamental business model. Now let's talk about the natural kind of end game or progression for product managers. Because product managers are always thinking about customer value and business value, they're actually the best position to take on leadership positions inside the company. That could mean head of product, but that could also mean CEO or other leader of an org or the company. That means that really a good sense of progression for product managers is an increase in the scope, an increase in the number of people and resources that you have access to, an increase in the ownership from a P&L perspective, profit and loss perspective, of certain org divisions or the entire company. So that's the natural progression for a product manager. Of course, you don't have to do that depending on what you're optimizing for. So let's get to the checklist. Here's how to know whether you're actually moving forward along this path or are getting stuck. Whether or not it's in your control is a separate question. My recommendation is to be proactive. Did you increase the scope of your work? Did you increase the revenue footprint of your work? Number three, more customers. Are you dealing with more customers or more users? How many users or customers do you impact? Number four is resources. Do you have more resources now than you've had in the past? The next one is how much tactical versus strategic work do you do now, and what has been the progression over the last few years? Is it more strategic work, meaning why or how we should do something rather than the specifics of the thing being done? And are you thinking more long-term versus short-term time horizons? Finally, this is the compensation piece. Look at how much you've made this year versus the previous year versus the year prior. Product managers should really think about themselves very much as startup owners or entrepreneurs. Their income should be going up year after year after year. Otherwise, they're not really that effective from a career perspective. You might be exceptionally effective at delivering impact for your company or doing good work in the world, but from a career perspective, a business owner, entrepreneur, or a startup owner is not doing very well if year after year after year after year, they are not making more money. So you could just look at your tax return or look at your own income statements, and you understand the answer to that one. So now you can do a little self-assessment, go through this checklist and see where you land for all of these areas. We're talking scope, revenue, users, resources, people, strategy, time horizon, and most importantly, compensation. Rate yourself along these 7 over the last few years, 2-3 years, depending on how long you've been working. And there you have your answer of whether you're progressing along the product management career path. If you'd like help with this, we work with proactive product managers inside PCA to help them build more financially and personally rewarding product careers. If you want to talk to our team, just take a look at the link in the description. Thanks very much. I'll see you next time.